it sounded too foreign to me. I never even thought in my life that I would ever go to Jerusalem. Even being a Christian, and this is the Holy Land, I just didn't think I would ever be here. The main thing that I would like to achieve by my studies here is to become really good at ancient Greek. Okay, this is like the primary purpose, or the main thing that made me want to come here. I like the structure of the language and the things that you're able to express in the language and how easy it is to express. You can say a lot and you can say it very clearly and it sounds beautiful. Okay, I don't know, I like Greek a lot. The other reason I want to become really good at Greek is because it seems essential for me. At different times in my life, in the past several years, I have wanted to study mainly theology and philosophy are the things that I've been interested in. And I realized kind of early on, because I had a professor who knew Greek, that if I really wanted to be a very serious scholar in theology or philosophy or both, really like the very first thing that I would need to do would be to become really good at Greek and Latin. You have scholars who just take someone else's translation and they do their scholarly work based on someone else's translation. And then you have scholars who want to go deeper and they want to look at the text themselves. And for that, you have to know the language.
Προτίθεμεν το εξ, πώς τα λέει τα τούτο? Πρόθεσης.
I could pick up a Greek text, but I would struggle through understanding it. So for instance, I would pick up a play by Aristophanes, or even some of the more difficult passages of the New Testament, and I would start reading through it and just get stuck. I would spend so long searching like two words in a basic phrase, and in the end I would realize that this phrase was maybe an idiom, or it was something very simple. I think learning a new language it enables you to think in a different way, because a language it's a means of conveying your thoughts, right? And so many of our ideas are built off of the ideas of the classical world. As a classics scholar or someone who wants to study the classical world, it's, I think, essential to be able to speak the language of the world, because only by speaking the language can you start to understand the mindset of that world, the culture, the people, the thoughts. You're not just treating them as something other that you're observing, you're really entering into their world.
When one hears the language and speaks the language, it's much easier to internalize it. You have a completely different impression when you don't have anymore a screen between you and the original text. You are directly listening to the voice of Plato or to the voice of Aristotle. And whenever you come back to the sources, reading them directly in the original, you get new meaning for your actual situation, and this enriches completely our culture.
This is a city in which all of the languages that I am studying either once were spoken or currently are spoken. So ancient Greek was spoken here at some point. Biblical Hebrew was spoken here. Modern Hebrew is now spoken here. Arabic, I'm learning the dialect of this, of Jerusalem. For instance, in the Church of the Holy Sepulchre, the tomb is just covered in Greek words. I mean, Greek inscriptions everywhere. There are, well, actually sort of all around the Church of the Holy Sepulchre. I go in there and everything is in Greek. The beauty of the place, of Polis itself, so it's very small. You know, we have the building that we're in now, the library, and then this other building with the classrooms and offices and kitchen, and that's it. And then there's a beautiful courtyard in the middle. So it's very, very, very small, but really beautiful. There's always a smile somewhere. You know, if you walk into the kitchen in Polis in between classes or around lunchtime, There will be students and professors speaking to each other in whatever language they're studying, you know, so you'll have like the Arabic conversation going on, and the Greek conversation going on, and the Latin conversation, and then maybe an English conversation here. And then you might just have international students speaking in their own language, French or German or whatever it is. This is really cool. Here, I mean, this is also something that Polis does really well. It instills a deep joy in studying.
There are people coming from all over the world to Jerusalem in order to study here for 2 years. But for doing something like that, you need money, you need time, and you need an availability that not everybody has. It's important to reach out to many other people who could, through e-learning, be able to have access to these kind of teaching.
This is starting to rapidly grow, and for Polis to join this kind of movement of reaching out to as many people as possible in the world and providing solid language training and providing a love of classics to people around the world, I think this would be very good.
Our objective is twofold. First of all, to keep contact with all our alumni that need to develop their linguistic skills once they have left Jerusalem. Our second goal is to allow many other people who don't have the possibility to come to Polis to have at least some access to that learning, and that can be made possible through e-learning. If you think that it is worthwhile that more people in your country, in your city, in your neighborhood could benefit from this incredible experience of having access to the sources of our culture, this is a project that I will ask you to contribute to. With the money that we will receive, we will develop the software application that is needed in order to establish this platform. We will buy the hardware, we will train the teachers, we will give scholarships to students from all over the world who could benefit from our programs. If you think that this project is worthwhile, we need your help.